Page 130, Sonatina in C. We're really getting into the deep stuff here. Hopefully you understand everything done so far and you're good to go here. Otherwise, you might want to go back and review everything before you're going on, because this chapter can be a bit of a challenge. Now in this lesson, they're introducing the dotted eighth note. If you understand dotted notes, it doesn't matter what the note is. It's a dotted note. The dot gets half the value of the note. So you got to know how much the note gets. Well, an eighth note is a half of a quarter note, and you can do the math. It just keeps dividing down. The dot is the same as a 16th note, because the 16th, there's two 16th notes to an eighth note. All right. It's like an eighth note and a 16th note tied together. However you count 16th notes, that's up to you. I do one ienda, two ienda. So I'll talk about the dotted note when I get into it. We can do all that junk up there if you want to. You have fun with it. I want to talk about this sonatina. I'll look it over. It's about a page and a half long. Treble and treble clef. Remember, we always check the clef signs because you never know. They could be both bass clef or both treble. Who knows? This is both treble clefs. No sharps or flats in the key signature. We're either in the key of C major or A minor. Well, if I look at the end, the last major, at the bottom of page 131, it's here. That is a C chord. We don't have the G. You don't have to use all the notes. It's still a C major chord. And you're thinking, wait a minute, because these notes are also in A minor. Because it could be an A minor. Why is this not an A minor chord? Why is it C major? And the reason is because there's no A. A is the root or the tonic of the A minor. So if you're going to do it, you need that note in the chord. It's an important note for the chord. You need it. And it's not there. But C is. In fact, it's twice. So I figure it's in C major. As you play it, you can hear the harmony. You can tell, is it C major or A minor? They sound different. Do the scales, the C major and the A minor scales. 2 octaves at least up and down now. You should be already knowing those scales. I got videos, you know what to do. And 2/4 time, but there's 16th notes everywhere. I'll take it one hand at a time, make sure I understand what the hands are doing. You have a pickup beat, because there's only one beat in that first measure. So the first beat of the measure is at the end. So you got beat 1 at the end and beat 2 at the beginning. That makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Well, it's music, what do you expect? And then the hand is here, so we're in this position to start. It's 2 ienda, 16th notes. 2 ienda. It's a broken chord. Just transfer weight from finger to finger. I can do it very quickly. And then the first full measure, all these C's, you could play them all with thumb, but I would encourage you to use the fingering they're showing in the book, because this kind of fingering, once you get used to it, really comes in handy. This is a fast piece, and so it's 1, 3, 2, 1. That's all we're doing, and you can do this. You don't have to go that fast. You should do it in both hands. Somewhere. You can try all the combinations like that. You do 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. All of it. It's really handy if you can do that and be comfortable with it. Comfortable enough where you don't even have to look at the keyboard when you do it. You might have to look at first, but I encourage you to use this fingering. It's a good one. And then the second full measure, you have the dotted rhythm. 1 ienda. So the eighth note gets half a count. 1 and, 1 e, or 1 e. And the dot comes on the end. In other words, look at the eighth notes in the left hand. You have here. So the first note comes with the first eighth note. And then the next eighth note in the left hand comes on the end of the beat. And that's where the dot comes. In the upper step, the dot comes on the end. And then it's the 16th note. So it's 1 ienda, 2 ienda. You can think long, short, but that's a little dangerous, because that can eventually turn into a triplet feel. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, ba, ba. Triple triple. That's triplet. A dotted rhythm has to be crisp, and that short note's got to be shorter than a triplet. Ba, not ba. See, so keep that 16th note short. Don't turn it into a triplet. Anyway, that measure. And then thumb comes down and it's the same thing. 3, 2, 1. And then measure 4, and then a 3. I'd like to suggest a fingering you can play around with because it will come in handy in pieces. This is measure 5 and 6, where you got these two notes. This, I'd like you to consider doing a 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. See these two notes, or this note pattern going down as a sequence? I could keep going. You could go up too. And we like to finger each occurrence of the pattern in the sequence the same. They have you in one position and then crossing over, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong. But I would like to introduce you to this idea of when you have these sequences going up or down, use a different fingering pattern. And in this kind of a sequence, it's going down as 2, 3, 2, 3. It comes in handy. Once you got to get the hang of it. It takes practice. You go slow. That really helps. And then when you go up, just 3, 2, 3, 2. So if you want to try that out, then in measure 4, do a 1. This way you're in position for 2. And then it's 2, 3, 2, 3. And the last one, you're done, so you can stay there. Or do a 2, 1. If you want, 2, 1. And then come up and do all that again. You don't have to. You can use the fingering in the book and just stay there if you'd rather. I'm just trying to give you a little more advanced fingering that will help you on pieces that may be a little more involved. I will go ahead and use the fingering in the book because that's what they're showing. I'm just trying to give you some other ideas. Let's go over to measure 15. You're here, 2, and then a 3, and then a 2. Again, we're just using different fingers on repeated notes. So that's fine. It's a good idea. I highly recommend it. And then you reach down. And on measure 17, 3, 2, 1. So measure 16 here, and you come down and then 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. See, it's a sequence going up. Again. It's a sequence. I want to finger them all the same, so I'm going to do each one with a thumb. And a 3, 2, 1. Thumb again. Thumb again. So I'm using thumb in measure 18 on the 16th note. And then on measure 19, 4. That puts you in position. Just getting into the habit of fingering these sequences the same way if you can. You can't always, because sometimes the black keys get involved and they mess it all up. There are no black keys in this piece. It's all white keys here. Then going on to measure 20, here. Now these are awkward fingers here in measure 21. I encourage you to use them. Don't shy away from the awkward fingers. We need to use these. So this is I'm just transferring weight from finger to finger. Stay relaxed. You do this very quickly. If it's a small motion, just a trill. And again, see, it's a sequence. And then 2. And you're back to like you were doing at the beginning. Let's go down to measure 28. You're here. Now we have this mess going on in measure 29 here. I'm just transferring weight I'm kind of rotating the arm, transferring weight. So measure 29 and here, 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 again. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's really what it is. Using their rhythm is a... That's all that is. Left hand's just broken chords and stuff. Just here, C chord here. So if I take all the notes and measures 2 and 3, this note and these notes, all together, the whole thing is a 5/7 chord. It's just we're not using all the notes all the time, is all. We're here, and then here. That's on measure 15. You're up here, thumb came up, and then here it's a G and an F. The G, you should know that note. It's 2 ledger lines is below it. 1 ledger line is middle C, 2 is an A, and that's under it. It's a G. And then I recommend a 3/2 if your hand's big enough. You see in measure 16, the left hand, they give you 2 sets of fingers. The first one, the 2/3, that's what they're recommending. And if your hands are small, then you do the ones in parentheses as a 1/2. So it's, I don't know how big your hands are. If you can, though, do the 2/3, connect them. Same thing at the end, at the last 2 measures you're here. Yeah. Put the hands together. This should be interesting. Here. Now, I might hesitate all over. I don't care. You put the hands together. I already did. Then go back over it carefully and slowly work out the hesitations. Keep it slow, but no hesitations. These 8th note pulses need to be consistent throughout. Then I'll think about the articulation, because so far I've been connecting everything more or less. We have the staccatos. I'm hinging at the wrist or short staccatos. The left hand, connect it. So I'm connecting this, but not at the same time. Again, this is one of those things you practice when you're doing the scales. On the other way. So you get that feeling of doing different things in the hands. This way, when you get it in pieces like that, you just do it. You don't tell them. Now, measure 5, it's staccatos both ends. Measure 8, that is not staccato. Lift up, so forth. You do the staccatos and legatos and all that stuff. Then I think about the dynamics. MP at the beginning is mezzo piano, which is sort of soft, and that's the melody, which is the right hand. What do you think sort of soft is? Not soft, just sort of soft. The left hand is way in the background. And then measure 8, going into measure 9, you go up to moderately loud, mezzo forte. Left hand still in the background. Measure 15, you get the hairpin to come back down. You're going to go down to soft. Measure 15, sort of loud. Now softer, soft. I did it like a half a beat at a time. You're moderately loud, moderately soft, soft. There. Measure 16, you're ending it soft. That's a phrase, you're ending it soft. And then you're starting moderately soft again like you were at the beginning. And you have a crescendo measure 17, you're going to go back up to moderately loud. Take your time. Don't get moderately loud till measure 19. So in measure 16, you're staying soft. You go up a little bit, up a little more. It's like more. There. Come down. Back down to soft is fine. And then to soft. You could almost put, in measure 20, you could put the P on beat 1. You don't have to. Maybe you only go down to moderately soft. And then soft. That's another way of interpreting it. So you're starting measure 20 at moderately soft, and then the second beat is soft, because you're starting the new phrase softer than you ended the previous phrase. It's interpretation. Left hand's very soft. And you get the crescendo of measure 21 again. Start it soft, a little louder, a little louder. Most of your crescendos in measure 23. Moderately loud up here. Hang on to that fermata for a bit. Now on this fermata, I'm going to hold that one extra eighth note with the play with me, because I'm going to put the metronome on eighth notes in the play with me. So I just hold it one extra, one, hold, rest, and then we go on there. If I'm just playing it, I just hold out for what feels right, and then I go on. Make sure you put in the eighth rest. It's important though. Don't connect them. No, it's got to be an eighth rest in there. If I do it with a metronome, I'll just add an extra beat to that note. I double the value of the note, but it's kind of hard to do when it's a half a beat. So I'll just add an extra beat to it. And then you're like you were at the beginning. Yeah. At the end, you come down to soft. Yeah. You really got to get into it well enough that you can feel these dynamics, and you feel this getting louder and softer. Speed, allegro is fast or happy, whatever. And grazioso is gracefully. It's just a, don't drag it. It's the feel of it. The eighth notes, I want to speed it up a little. The 16th notes, I want to slow it down. Find the hardest part in it, wherever it is. Around measure, 20 or so, 21? How fast can you play that accurately? That would be your speed. Or measure 29. How fast can you play that accurately? And that would be your speed. As you play piano more and more and more, and you get more experience with it, you will get faster. And you can come back and play these pieces again and again, hopefully. And each time you'll get a little better at it and a little faster. It'll be fine. Remember the natural accents. In 2/4 times, 1, 2, 1. Give it, and if you have to exaggerate it at first, the first beat of every measure. Exaggerate. You want to feel this. Boom, 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 boom. Now, when you're subdividing beats like this, each beat actually gets a little bit of a natural accent. So it's first one. 1, 2, 1. I'm exaggerating them so you can hear them better. But you want to feel them. To feel this natural accent thing going, and feel the beat going all the way through. To play it together with you very slowly, and let's check the notes and the rhythms. Probably really don't need to play with me when you get to this level. You have a pretty good idea if you're playing the right notes or not. But I've been doing it through the whole book. I'll just continue. So I'll give us 3 counts, 3/4 note counts, because we come in on beat 2. Very slowly. I'm putting the metronome on beating 8th notes. Bum, bum, bum. So we're following that because I'm going to go real slow. 1 and 2 and go and and 2. Rest.